broken things can become a blessing if you let God do the mending. Welcome to Broken to be Blessed Network, where dynamic women will share their experiences that will inspire, and experiences that have turned out to be a blessing. Now here's your host, Samantha McNeil.
Hello there, I'm your host, Samantha McNeil. Welcome to Broken to be Blessed Network, where dynamic women will share their experiences that have caused them to be broken, experiences that will inspire, and experiences that turned out to be a blessing. Today, I have with me Akalia Gayle. Hi, Akalia, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing well too, thanks. It's a pleasure having you sharing with us today.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so like she said, my name is Akalia Gayle. I was born in Jamaica. I'm the only child for my mother and the third for my father. I'm a trained guidance counselor and now a certified home health aide, and I'm also the mother to one precious little girl, Zuri Kelisa Grant.
Okay, lovely. All right, we are ready to hear your testimony, Akalia, so it's all over to you.
Okay, so my testimony it all started back in 2014. So at the time I was in Jamaica, I was expecting, but I didn't know that this journey would have turned out on a different road. It was somewhat of a shifting. So it was like in October of the said year, I was in the US on a small vacation, and I had to do the ultrasound. So the ultrasound was like a 15-minute schedule. When I got to the ultrasound, I was excited because that was the day they were going to tell me whether it was a girl or a boy. So you can imagine I was so excited going in. But however, during the examination, the doctor at the time said to me, after he was scanning and doing his thing, he said to me, give him a second, he will come back. That second took forever. Now my sister-in-law was there too, and she started to get worried. And she was like, why did the doctor go? And I was like, I don't know, but at that time I could feel the baby kicking. So I was like, he was alive. Anyway, when he came back, he said to me that he's waiting on confirmation because he might have to deliver the baby today. I was like, deliver the baby today? He was like, yes, something is growing on her liver and he doesn't know what, so it would be best. Mind you, now I'm in the US, so I'm like, I have to get back home because at the time I was teaching, I had all the plans in Jamaica. I was also going to NCU doing my degree at the time. So it's like, you can't deliver the baby right now. I have to go back. He was like, well, I don't think that's possible. So, right then and there, everything came down on me. I'm like, this wasn't even a part of the deal. Anyways, I was there. He called a couple surgeons and stuff like that. They were trying to get their input. However, because of my situation and because we were like in the second trimester, they were trying to prevent delivering her, else she would have to stay in the NICU until she's full term. So we agree at that point that she would have watched me every week, and if the mass keep on growing, then they will just have to deliver. Anyways, they'll just have to deliver. Anyways, got to bring the baby full term, thank God. The mass didn't grow still because she was born, so they didn't have a sample to test to see whether it's cancer or what was causing it. So got to 40 weeks, thank God. So I was there thinking that, okay, I won't get to see my baby. I may have to go home without my baby because of the surgery. So we are in February in a snowstorm, baby coming, going to the hospital. When we got to the hospital now, through labor and delivery, and she was born, they said that they were going to wash her up and then let me see her before the surgery. When they bring her back, they were like, there's another complication. We can't do the surgery right now. She actually have jaundice, so they have to bring her under some light before they do the surgery because they can't perform a surgery with a second ailment. So, mind you, I'm still in this foreign country by myself. Everybody is back home by myself. I'm like, God, what is this? By myself. I cried, and I was like, whoa. Everybody get their baby to sleep with them beside them here, and here I am. Don't know no one, but this baby is gone to the NICU. Anyways, she went, I signed the paper, I agreed that the surgery have to put on because of the jaundice, so I was there. It was tough because like on the second day I was doing better, she was doing, so I had to go home without my baby, which brought me into depression. I called the hospital like every 2 minutes checking up on this baby because you can stay in the day, but in the night you have to go home. I call like every 2 minutes that night. The next morning when I went, the doctor was like, Miss Gayle, every 2 minutes, and I was like, yeah, she isn't home. I just want to know that she's doing good. So because she was full term, he agreed to take her out of the NICU and put her on the children ward, which gave me the opportunity to stay with her like 24/7. So she was there like for 4.5 weeks. So I moved into the hospital 4.5 weeks for the jaundice. So she was better. The liver mass at the time still didn't grow, so they decide, okay, we're gonna put off the surgery since she had been through so much, and put it off until she's 5 months. So that would have been July of 2015. So she came home. I was hoping that by the time July comes, there would be the need of a surgery, and that my life could have just gone back to normal, just fall back in place. Because like I said, I was in the middle of my degree. I had my job back home. I was like here, like dealing with all the winter and stuff like that I'm not used to, because you know back home is tropical. I'm like everything. But there was something down on the inside of me telling me just to trust what's going on. But during that time, like I try as much as possible because I had the baby and she's depending on me. So I had to take myself out of depression. I had to like stay in the word. I had to like listen to Shirley Caesar every day on repeat. He'll do it again. Just take a look at how far you have come. So my mom also took a couple days from her job to be here with us, which was good. So in July, the surgery, Samantha, that day, it was just me and her because my mom had to go back because she's a teacher. The surgery was scheduled for 3 hours. We were the first one. However, that went another way because it was bigger than the surgeon thought. So, yeah. So we were the first one there. Other family come. I watch other family. They had a system where the surgeons would call you and update you. I was the only one sitting there that not getting any call. So you can imagine how nervous I am. My mom is back home. I'm the only one there. By myself, I watch people come with their children, did the surgery, went to the recovery room. Just me.
Wow.
3 hours passed, nothing. 4 hours passed, nothing. 5 hours passed, can't see the surgeon. I was like, so I went out. I tried to find some other surgeon, like, could you go check on a little baby that's like 5 months old and see? And he was like, he cannot do that because of they can't go into different rooms since they're not the scheduled surgeon. But in the middle of all that, remember I'm saying I'm all alone and stuff like that, there was just this gentleman that came. He was actually a pastor. He came and he said that somehow how the Holy Spirit sent him there, and he came here and I was the only person in the room. So he started talking to me and he prayed for me while we were there, still waiting, no word. 6 hours, no word. Then like after 6 hours, the surgeon finally came out and she was like, the mass is so big that it's taking longer, and because she's so tiny, they have to make sure that everything goes as planned so that there won't be any complication and stuff like that. And she also said that it would have taken about 2 hours more. So we were at the hospital all day, which should have been 3 hours. But I took comfort in knowing that somehow God sent somebody to be with me for the rest of the afternoon. So even though the rest of family had gone to the recovery section and stuff like that, God sent somebody to be with me during that time. So even though so that give me a little breather.
Yes.
So when she finally came out, I guess all the drugs and stuff, she didn't wake up. So we spent the night on the recovery because they couldn't move her to the ward unless she woke up.
Okay.
So again, moving back to the hospital all these times. So they were expecting her to be there like for 3 or so days, and then we could have go home and just coming back for like therapy and stuff like that. She didn't. She didn't recover so fast. She started having more complications. Her liver, the surgery was a success to them at the time until they get the complication. So her liver was leaking. So mind you, she's 5 months old. She had to have a feeding tube in her neck. She can't move. She had the bile with a bag at her side that's just dripping non-stop. They have to be changed it over and over. It got so worse that they were like, a couple days after, they said that they would have to take her back to the surgery room, but it would have it's a risk to open her back up. So now they're thinking of sending down a small instrument through her throat.
Oh.
And that too would have caused her voice and speech development to be slower.
Oh my God.
Yes. So I was dealing with a lot. As I said, I came here for one thing and everything just going everywhere.
Yeah.
My phone was acting up. I can't even call back home to anyone. And I'm just like in the hospital by myself. My sister-in-law now had a death in Jamaica, so she had to go to Jamaica for the burial. So, and like I said, my mom was gone. And then this pastor that came the day, he couldn't stay forever because he has his own family. So it was hard. She was leaking. She had to go back to the surgery room like on many occasions because her liver just would not stop leaking. Thank God though that when the sample came back, it wasn't cancer. So they said it was just like from some extra fluid, and that over time her liver would have grow back. So that was that. She spent like almost 3 months in the hospital. And as usual, you know, that 3 months I didn't go home. I moved into the hospital as well because this girl won't sleep. I was so depressed. I was like just down. I was like, what's going on, Lord? What's going on? Yes, so that was how she got sick. I think we're like at the third question now.
So yeah, I want to know how you deal with the situation.
All right, so how I deal with the situation after me being depressed, me crying, me everything, there was just something that came over me at night that said, Akalia, you just kind of just sitting down because Zuri is already there crying through all of this, through all the pain. She has to be taking the antibiotics. So just all these pills. You can't be crying, she can't be. Who's going to help who here? So yes, there was something like over me that God wouldn't give you this to face if he know you can't manage. So from that moment on going on, I have to like change my perspective. I have to like just stop focusing on what everything that's going on wrong, and just like instead of me just being down and I'm like there with her, like when they bring her or come to give her, I'm like holding her hands, I'm like praying over her, asking God like to just bring us through this time and just send his angel like to just give us strength during this time because it's much needed. So I had to stay in the word. As I said, there was just this song that I have to keep on repeat, just not to go back into this depression, because they even assigned me to a social work and stuff like that, thinking that I was losing it. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I can't let them think I'm losing it, and then they send me away and then there's nobody here for, and the child probably end up in foster care or something, because this is America. I don't really know how they run their thing. Yeah, so I'm like, just have to change my perspective. I have to just stop thinking about the job that I had going on at home as a teacher. I had to just think that, okay, this is a sickness. She's going to be here for some time. So even my degree, I just said, I just have to put at hold because God knows what he's doing. Maybe he needed me for something else that's bigger than what I have planned, because you know the same, we can make our plans, but God will prevail. So you can plan something, but if it's not in alignment with God, well, it won't work.
Yes.
So I had to change my focus from the situation and just trust in the maker who had placed this child in my womb to bring forth. So that was how I deal with the situation.
Wow, profound and powerful. God is in fact good.
Yes, he is in fact good. And I think also too, as I said, at the time when you're going through something, it's hard to see like on the other side. But as they would say, like when you're down in the valley, in the wilderness, just keep going. Even if you have to rest, but never quit. Just get up every day, just keep going and keep going, because better days are ahead. Yes.
So I see you said that it was a challenging time and stuff, but what was the breaking point? To have a breaking point where you felt like, oh, I couldn't take this anymore.
Well, the breaking point for me was like on one of the days that they bring her back to do another surgery, because like I said, she was in and out. It was too much. Like it was like the fourth time they were bringing her. It was like the breaking point for me was like, that's it. I can't take no more. So like after that though, it like with my prayer and everything, now each day, like since I changed my focus and stuff, the liquid start reducing. So there was progress coming on. And as I said, I had to keep in the word. I have to be there for her. I prayed, and over time, progressing, her fluids went down, thank God, and then they were able to put her on therapy now. So that's another thing that I didn't know, that because she was laying this way, they were like, she's 5 months, 6 months now, she should have been creeping and stuff like that, so she needs to go to physical and occupational therapy, because they need to see that she comes back around before they can release her. Also,
okay,
even though they were planning all that, they were saying that when she's released, she will have to stay in the country. She can't travel back home. She'll need to be here for like the next 12 months.
Wow.
So I was like,
Everything has turned the other way.
Yeah, everything has turned the other way, because like I said, there's just something, I don't know why. As I said, I'm in a foreign country by myself, so I'm trying to hold on to that piece that, okay, she's gonna get better, we're gonna head back home.
Yes.
No, that's a no-no. But during all of that though, like I said, she went to therapy, the liquids in her liver, it stopped draining. So now, slowly but surely, she was on the road, the right track to getting home. But home would have been in this country that I didn't even see coming.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't even know what would happen after we got out. But as I said, there was something that came over me that night, just to trust the progress. And my grandmother that would call would always say to me that God will give you something that you cannot handle. Now, as I said earlier, that I'm a trained guidance counselor. So in all of this, when she said we have to stay here for 12 months, and I was like, where are we gonna go? There was something that says, all you have is all you need. So I'm like, all you have is all you need. What do I really have? So I was like, okay, I guess maybe this means it's time to look at job. So prior to coming here, back home, I would send out application after application after application by every Sunday gleaner, looking for a guidance counseling job. That just didn't happen, because most time I go to the interview, they want someone that had at least 5 years experience and stuff like that. So this surgery was done in Connecticut, so I applied for a job. I saw a counseling job, but it was in New York. However, I applied, and by the time the interview was to come, Zuri was out. I applied Samantha, and I went to the interview. And like I said, the thought said all you have is all you need, but I'm still in this country, don't know what is what or what is needed. But I went to that interview, and 2 days after, they called and they offered me the job.
Wow.
which was so shocking. So even though I was like, what is this, God? Why did you bring me here? And I had to leave everything. But at the same time, before all of this happened, I was also praying for favor on this application.
Yes.
So maybe God was like saying, I'm going to give you the job, but it's not in your birth country. I need you to go to this place. So that's how too I got to New York.
Okay.
As a teacher, yes. So your channel, Broken to be Blessed, I guess, broken with everything that gone wrong with Zuri, surgery and stuff like that. But it has come to a blessing that I never see coming. I'm sure Zuri didn't see coming also. While I was in Jamaica, they were always checking up on her. Here the surgeon was just so curious as to why it was detected back home, but they said that it was good that they detected it so early, so it would have spread, and then later it would have been more damage. So that's good. Zuri now up to date. She's off the surgeon watch list, so she doesn't go to the surgeon no more. And she's clear. She can travel back and forth all over the world. So she's doing good. There's no more liver mass. Thank God like I said, it wasn't cancer. And thank God that he gave me the strength and I was able like not to get too much into depression and just to, keep going day by day, get up, show up to her room, show up by her crib side, even though I'm like, she have all these tubes and stuff. And I just, as I said, I had to shift my focus from just watching everything that was going on with her, because I guess that was what was breaking me down too, just seeing all these, because before that I haven't seen nobody in my family as sick as her, or nobody had ever done anything like that, had surgery or had a sick child. So it was just new for everybody. Yes, so.
So so you said that she's off the watch list. How old is she now, and how long ago has that been?
So she is 5. She turns 5 this year, February, and she came off her last surgeon visit was last summer. That's in 2019. So she went. The surgeon did his checks. He said that the liver had grown back. It's on a healthy level. And plus he doesn't see any formation, like any gathering of any mass or anything. So he said her liver had come back to normal now. And he isn't worried as much. He did give us like complication that to look for just in case anything should reoccur. But to date, none of those complications had came up. So to God be the glory.
Great things he has done and continue to do.
Yes.
So how is she as a child, and she knowing what was happening, and how did she react or anything like that?
Well, now she still have the scar. I don't think she really understands what she went through. I know she see picture from time to time with her, like with these tubes, her belly with the tape and stuff, and she's like, that's not me. She tore a couple picture once, but like I said, she was probably about 3 years old, so her cognition isn't up there to understand, even though I tell her the story. Now at 5, she still have the scar, so most time as she meets somebody, she's like, I have a scar, the doctor used a knife on me. So that's just the level that she's at now. She knows that there's a scar, the doctor did something to her, but she doesn't know how much. Yeah, because even if you tell her, she's just like holding on. Even if she's playing with her doll, she's telling them, I have to do surgery on you, and she doesn't really know what she's doing. She's just thinking that, okay, I have a scar, so you too should have a scar.
Yeah.
Wow. I guess as she goes along and then hearing these stories, then she will come to know what really transpired and how everything started, how she even ended up here.
Yes. Wow, God is good, and
He's so good. Because let me tell you, like I said, with the surgery and stuff, she was like, they think that she would be behind and stuff like that with walking, with speech, because I said they had to, one of the surgery had to be done through her mouth. So she was late, but not as late as they think she would have been.
Okay. Well.
Because they think that she would be delaying, walking, in grasping stuff and stuff like that. So that too is also a blessing, because they were thinking that by 2, 3 she would have, but like little after a year or so, she just started, like, I think too probably because we got to New York and she see other kids at the school that I was at, and also at the daycare, kids moving up, and maybe she was like, I need to walk too.
Yes.
Kids, I just can't be here by myself. So that too was a blessing to know that even though they suspect that she would have been delayed for such a long time in coming back to normal functioning, or what a child should be doing at such age or such months. That too. So we have come a mighty long way.
Oh.
Yes, but like I said, God had exceeded my expectation. Like I said, I was expecting that I would have been in Jamaica as a counselor doing my degree and stuff like that, but I guess he wanted me on a different road. And he's here every step of the journey.
That is good.
All the time.
Powerful story, and I'm sure that other persons are gonna be encouraged by this story. But before we go, I want you to just leave a word of encouragement with somebody who has a sick child right now and maybe feeling hopeless and might just need a word of hope.
Yes, so what I would tell somebody that has a sick child right now, I know the situation may look hard. It may not be something that you had envisioned. Like, nobody's going to envision anyway of them having a sick child. But you just take comfort into knowing that God is a healer. He's with you. He's with your child. Do not focus on the situation. Like, just tell the situation who is your God, and let your situation know that God will bring you through his word. He's a healer, and I have proven that God's word will not return void, especially during my time. So keep the courage, keep the faith, pray, and ask God for strength and healing and guidance, and he will. He will. Just keep the faith and stay encouraged, and he will see you and your child through. And then, just like how I'm here to share my story, like years later, you too will have a testimony to share with somebody too, as how you navigate through your storm and how God helped you and brought you through.
Wow. Powerful. Yeah. Thank you very much for sharing.
You're welcome.
As I said before, I'm sure that persons are waiting to hear testimonies like these to be encouraged. So thanks again, and have a wonderful rest of the evening.
You too. Bye. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay, bye-bye. Also, apart from giving God thanks for his grace and favor during the time Zuri was ill, I also want to thank the following persons who offered a helping hand in my shifting. Words cannot express my gratitude towards your kindness. My big brother Chavel and his family, Dr. Mizra and her team from Connecticut Children's Hospital who performed the surgery, and also who went beyond even when they were off. To my mother Yvette Williams, Lashana, to my cousin Teresa, to the rest of my family and friends who, even though they couldn't be here physically, they called and prayed for Zuri's healing, and for that I am forever grateful for your help, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thanks again, and may God continue to bless you wherever you are. Thank you.